Hi everyone, so we're back for the second episode of our Two Fellas podcast. I'm Dave.
Steve.
Steve.
And Dave.
How are we doing? Everyone good? We've had a little bit of feedback from our last podcast, which is interesting, on our love. What's everyone's interpretation or definition of love?
My mind is actually even more blown by some of these. Dave, just read some of them out.
Should we read some of them out? Right, okay. I had one today and it was trust. And I couldn't believe it. I thought, shit, it's never even occurred to me. Trust has never even occurred to me. And then I messaged you and you were like mind blown.
Yeah, I literally don't get it. I mean, that sounds terrible. I don't get it. No, I don't. I just don't. Like, I feel, and I said this last time, and I know I bang on about it all the time, but I just don't feel like it's enough. I don't feel like it's like, I don't know, like to trust someone. Like, I mean, I trusted my teacher at school. I didn't want to marry her. Do you know what I mean? You trust your mechanic, don't you? You go for a rectal exam at the doctor's, and you trust them, but you don't.
Well, I'm not
sure
if I trust them. You know. Well, yeah, but you think that's too matey, don't you? Like trust.
I think it's a bit like oxygen. That's a really good way of putting it. It's like, you know, it's like
a rectal examination is like oxygen.
Well, you can breathe it in, I think. But it's no, I just feel like it's almost like a basic need. You know, like trust is like very much a basic.
But yours is desire. Is desire not a basic need of every human being? You want to feel desired.
I mean, look, I don't know. I don't think it is. Again, if I'm having my rectal exam, you know, I do not want my doctor to desire me. You know, it'd feel a little bit awkward if I.
No, but the doctor's not desiring you while he's examining your bottom hole.
Well, but he might. That's
yeah.
What
But
I'm
in his
saying.
mind, he might be taking photos for later on in his mind. Yeah. But it doesn't mean he's desiring you right at that moment in time.
Well, I don't think you can pick and choose. I think you either desire all the time or you don't desire. You know, I don't think. I just think like oxygen. It's you know, it's very, very basic. You trust. What were the others you got?
Trust. Yeah, my mind. I struggle with it sometimes. That you struggle with it because you think you're wrong with desire. You think you're wrong. So, but I'm like, so is everyone else wrong? And you're. But when you say, is when you talk about it, you pose it as a question. You don't pose it as a statement.
Well, I know, but look, I'm the one that's in fucking therapy. You know, like, so. There must be an element of me that's wrong, otherwise I wouldn't be there. You know, if I was.
No, I think no. See, that's another conversation another day. You're not wrong. You haven't done wrong things.
No, excuse me.
Well, potentially, but you know, for a different website.
Different website. Yeah.
So anyway, right, we've got unconditional support.
Yeah, again, like a really tight pair of pants. You know, like
as my sons used to call them, ball stranglers.
Yeah, like, or a good bra. You know, like it doesn't feel. It feels a little bit wet. You know, a little bit. Sorry, it's the wrong podcast.
Yeah, that's definitely the wrong.
It feels a little bit. Yeah, and look, obviously, I've got to be mindful that we've had some beautiful people that have given us this feedback, and obviously if they're listening again, they're going to know that that's what they said. So I'm not, if you are listening, people, I'm not obviously poo-pooing your relationship, obviously. I mean, you know, but I'm just trying to explore my own thoughts, and for me, I mean, I'm almost, do you know why I ask it as a question? Because I'm almost envious of the fact that it's
you feel that bar is so high, and you're envious that.
Well, I feel my bar is a lot higher, and actually maybe even unachievable, and that.
Well, it is unachievable because you can't be desired all the time.
Well, this is what I
said last time, wasn't it? You can't. It's like I said, if your wife wanted to be desired,
my wife,
wanted to be desired 24 hours a day, Are you stallion enough to be able to,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
get yourself ramped up, ready to
Yes. 24/7.
go?
Yeah, but this is my point, right? So I know this isn't about love, this podcast, but like this episode, sorry. But this is my point. If I personally have been in a relationship for 25 years, and that bar has always been up so high.
It's a funny face, it's a funny weird
well, because when I'm saying high, my eye is going up like a bit like Quasimodo. The bells. It's that kind of like, that kind of, yeah. But and I just and then I'm left with this feeling of kind of, this unloved feeling, because it's almost not achievable, So yeah, I'm just a bit like, where's the bar at?
I think you analyse it too much. I think you think about it too much.
Oh yeah, well, that hence the therapy, full circle. But
yeah, a little bit maybe. Enjoying the small moments, the small events in life, like going out for a walk. They use going out for a walk, going just down to saying, "Oh, do you want to just go out, just walk down to the beach, grab a coffee?"
Yeah, but we've done that before.
You're holding my hand though.
Well, yeah, okay. Don't it's not meant to be a public thing, but yeah.
I agree with those. As in, I see. You don't quite get those. I can, because the small events mean a lot to me. Not the small events don't mean a lot to you, but from husband-wife situation.
Yeah.
If you were going to go for a coffee, you'd want like the band outside with dancing girls. Like you'd want it set up when you like a world championship wet t-shirt competition or something going on.
You're right. This is like, and I think that says a lot more about me as a person than it does. And I think this is why maybe I'm coming across, slightly Australian, where everything's a question. Like it's that kind of like, I'm not sure, Dave. I don't know what that was. That was slightly. I don't know, Iranian or something. Go. Yeah. So it's just really mind-blowing. I just wonder, like, how many relationships are built on, not built, that's the wrong word, but they're just that misunderstanding and the pressure actually that it puts on the relationship and the individual.
Yeah, from both sides.
Absolutely, because I'm always checking in with my wife and saying, you're right. Are you all right? Have I done anything wrong to upset you? Because I feel like
you usually have.
Well, okay, yeah.
Not flush the toilet or...
Yeah, fair enough. Use two fingers instead of one. No, look, absolutely. I totally get that. But... calm down, David. I do totally understand that. But it's... I just think... Yeah, I just feel like... What must that feel like for her? Like, oh, fuck off. I've been for a walk today. I trust you. What more do I have to give you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so she's like kind of, I don't want to. It's not all about me, But I just wonder. That's a classic communication piece, and not understanding what other people. Yeah, it's communication, really, isn't it? It shouldn't be called love, should it? It should be called communication.
Communication is a good one, though, actually.
Yeah.
Communication could be a good, Yeah.
I think we should come back to this.
Yeah, I was going to say, to wrap it up then, we need to get people to message in, because it'll be on social media.
Yeah.
Direct message.
Yeah.
Ask the partners what they feel is their definition of love.
Yeah, and you've got to be truthful. Like, don't like change it and like,
And don't overthink it as well. Anybody I've asked, it's got to be a fairly instantaneous. I asked a friend and he took ages to answer, and he's pretty quick-witted.
And you don't believe Chris Whitty?
But he couldn't. Oh. But he'd never been thought about it. He'd never been asked that question.
No.
And actually, it took him back.
Yeah, but that's it. That's classic.
Yeah.
He's never been asked a question.
Classic.
Oh, classic. Yeah.
Okay, then. So we'll do that. So, what today's podcast?
Yeah.
Right, move on. The second podcast. That was like reviewing the first one, and then, we'll go. We'll definitely go back to that and do that one again.
We should. It's big. I feel like we've only kind of scratched the surface. Yeah. So work-life balance. We thought. Yeah. I mean that's a tricky one, right? So now we're both self-employed. So I think we said this in the in the previous episode, didn't we? You're a private chef.
Yeah.
You're
dodgy.
Dodgy. Yeah, for a marketing agency. And I think being self-employed, I always say that your business is another child, right? It is. And I think when you've got a business, kids, a missus that you want to desire all the time. We shouldn't go there. No. You become stretched, and there's certain pressures. I think.
Yeah, self-employed and employed are completely different life-work balances, aren't they?
Excuse me. Yes and no, actually. I do think. I think you're right, but I think. I think the mind works differently when it's like.
I suppose just being self-employed, just stretching the envelope more. You're just trying to ring more.
You can get bigger envelopes. You don't need to.
I'm thinking big envelopes already.
Yeah,
for big letters.
Well, yeah, it's because you're like.
I'm a big boy.
You're a big boy. You got a book out. So I don't know if anyone realised that.
Knew that. Yeah.
Thanks, obviously, Steve. Self-published. Amazon. No, not on Amazon.
Not yet. Just calm
down. Sorry. Well, being self-employed, you need to self-promote. But even if you are just employed, you might want to do overtime. You might not want to come home. It's like.
Why wouldn't you want to come home?
Well, because I think we'll come on to that. I think, won't we? Because it's there's all these kind of like. It's not stereotypes. It is stereotypes.
Yeah, it is. Do you know what? At school, you get put into a system, don't you? Where you've got to have your 9 to 5 job, or your full-time job. There's not 9 to 5 back when we were younger. Not now. It's not. It's not just a flat-out job. 4. Yeah. You've got to have your house, the mortgage, the house, the wife, the kids, and that's what you were. That's the system. We're herded into, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I was always very much, I'm not being herded into that system. That doesn't make me right or wrong.
No. I get that. I totally get that. But you still strived, haven't you, for that kind of. It's goals, isn't it? It's a really fine line between having goals, wanting to provide, wanting to, all that kind of jazz, and then I hate saying that.
Jazz. That's on Fast Show.
All that jazz.
You probably don't even know what Fast Show is.
Do you know what I've heard?
Please,
of it?
for the love of God, don't bloody say to me, "Oh, a 6-year-old showed me on YouTube one day what Fast Show was," or some shithouse thing like that.
Well, I mean, it does sound like a World War II program. Is that something they had just after the war? I don't know what it is.
I'm 44. How old are you?
38, I think.
38, 6 years. See, you probably did
6
miss out on the Fast Show.
It's big.
Where we go?
But Eurotrash.
Eurotrash is definitely for a sexualised podcast.
Is it? I found it a little bit tame, if I'm going to be honest.
I suppose it depends on what you're brought up on, Stephen.
Oh, yeah, but I am thinking that I was probably. I mean, it was on in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was pre-20. No, hang on a minute. Hang on.
So it's about early 90s. You were I was like about 13, 14. You were like...
Yeah, I was pre-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just think that's probably why I found it tame at pre-10. I mean, that feels like a whole other podcast.
What on earth were you... Whoa.
Yeah, well, it was all magazines, wasn't it? In the church toilets and things like that. So it was all
that's a stereotypical. Right.
Stop, draw a line.
Enough.
Anyway, where were we?
Stereotypical magazine in the church. No, stereotypical wife Why? Work balance.
Yes.
Life-work balance.
Yes. And I think there's lots of different things, right? So let's just get deep a second. It's not deep. I want to say raw.
Let's delve in. Let's open it up and get in there.
So I was thinking a lot about this the other day as well. I think in the traditional sense, again, if we pretend we're in the system, and this has evolved over the years. You got a bloke, a woman, and a couple of kids, right? That's the kind of what they call that, the nuclear family.
4-2.
What am I talking about? What are you doing?
What was the program that was on TV?
4.8.
Yeah, 4.2.
4.2. 1.6. I don't know what it was. 2.4.
2.4. Yeah, 2.4, there we are. Yeah, 2.4.
Yeah,
like 2.4. Yeah, the thing.
Yeah, that's
family.
Yeah, you're making so much sense. Yeah,
really
you're right.
Sorry. I'm really struggling then.
Yeah.
But I was hoping you were going to be on it, but you probably didn't know that program.
No, again, I do feel, was it black and white or? Yeah.
Fuck off, Steve.
Yeah. So, I do think, so if you've got that traditional sense, and then you have those old stereotypes, I know I've got all Fagin all of a sudden. The woman would stay at home and cook, and the men would go out and graft. Come on.
Exactly what we're saying, down the mine where the woman's changed to the sink, that sort of thing, like the classic.
Absolutely.
The way it should have been.
I'm going to come back to that, actually, the woman, because I had a conversation with my wife the other day about this, because, again, a little bit of a mind-blown moment, but I'm going to come back to that. But, no. So where am I going with that? Yeah, so and there's just all these expectations again, isn't it? A little bit like the love thing, right? Yeah. The woman stays at home, so the men's got. But obviously, that's evolved over time because men, women, there's equal opportunities. There's just a whole.
There's a whole raft of men and women now, isn't there? Like the different. Yeah, like variations.
And what
that have evolved over the last couple of years.
Yes.
So to add that into the mix as well,
Yeah, and of course, there's same sex couples, and parents and things like that. So, but anyway,
but the classic is the fella goes out, does his working down the mine or whatever, doing his X hours a week.
On the tools.
Exactly, on the tools.
Yeah, if you're on the tools.
Wife's at home, kids go to school, and that's the system that we were sort of.
And then that's the expectation as well, isn't there?
But like you said before, the overtime, it's a fair point actually. Sort of self-employed or employed, essentially the same thing.
Yes.
Obviously, because you still got to try to find time for the family if you're doing overtime.
100%.
If you're employed, and so.
The reason I was saying that, so I think even now, right? I think I would. I know there's going to be, exceptions to the rule, but I would say even now, in this day and age, that you've got, the female of the house or the primary caregiver for children, would normally work part-time or stay at home parent or something like that, right? And I think that then you then have this funny thing starting to brew, right? Because you've got the other parent, it doesn't matter if they're male or female, right? The other parent is then out at work, and then, you get this kind of resent come up a little bit because, that parent might come home and be a bit like, oh God, I've been at work all day, where's my dinner? And and you get this like odd kind of like, I guess, tension come up, and this kind of, I've been working too, and all this kind of stuff. And I think it's weird in a way, because then you get this kind of weird pressure feeling on the person that I guess is self-employed or employed, where they feel a bit guilty for being at work.
Yeah.
They feel a bit guilty, but then they also feel pressured to earn an income, and they feel guilty for following their goals. I suppose
from looking at it another way, if you haven't got kids, then it's life-work balance is a lot easier.
Well,
if you add kids into the equation, it really does make that life-work balance really hard.
But and you're absolutely right. I mean, so I mean, look, classic. You don't have any kids that live with you, do you? You know what?
Yeah,
What's,
well, older, they're 17 and 21.
yeah, of course. So, of course, like you're lying, yeah. No, but what? Yeah, I mean, what's your situation? I mean, how do you deal with kind of work-life balance?
Well, currently,
Yeah,
simple.
yeah.
It's that like it's a lot easier than what it used to be. Because when you've got kids, and I love my kids dearly, but trying to get that balance is really hard. And it was great fun trying to do it. So I love work and love my kids and love the family, you know, unit and all that sort of thing. Amazing.
Yeah. But there is. I mean, and again, you know, I've got 3 kids. I forgot them for a second. Yeah, I've got 3 kids. Yeah, definitely 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, not obviously, mine range from 17 to 11, and it is tricky, right? It is. I'm growing a
Balls.
business, growing balls. Yeah, I'm still going through puberty. Yeah, I'm growing a business. I'm trying to be a dad. I'm trying to be a wife.
You're trying to be a wife. You're trying to be a wife.
Trying to be a wife. I'm trying to. Well, that's.
What do you wear as a wife?
Well, just a penny.
Really?
Yeah.
What a horrible thought.
What is a penny?
Is it a pin? Like a pin? It's like a
penny. That, I mean, that's like, isn't that like a, what's it called that you wear?
It's just it's just a flipping. What's it called?
You're a freaking
apron.
chef. There we go.
Yeah.
An apron.
But that's just a housewife word for an apron, isn't it? Penny?
What is that? Would you say that's a housewife essential? A penny? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen
my God.
wife.
But can we call it a housewife now, or is it a house person? Do we? And that's not even a comedy thing to say.
No,
that's being serious.
Yeah, no.
I suppose it depends on your situation.
I think I was talking about my wife.
I thought you said you were the wife.
I was trying to be a wife.
Oh, okay.
You remember? I was trying. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is trying to be a husband, a dad, and a business owner, and it is super tricky. I find it super tricky to balance all of that. You know, you want to be at your kids' plays at school and their Christmas things. You want to, you know, go to parents' evening. But you also want to give them the best start in life, provide for your family, grow your business. You know, you've got all your customers, your staff, and then you've got your friends, you've got your wife. You know,
you're a workaholic.
See, this is interesting. I'm glad we started
because I actually don't know the answer to this.
Yeah, well, I think I'm starting to understand it, right? I think, am I a workaholic? See, I've got a real view on this. There's a real negative terminology around that. The fact that you've said holic, you know, alcoholic, you know, foodaholic, if that's a thing. I just made it up for effect. But
airaholic. If you take into its air.
But anything aholic is like is addicted to, right? Isn't it? Like chocoholic.
Yeah,
that's a medical term.
Yeah,
like
what?
I know what I'm saying. Like, there's two views on this, right? And I think I'm gonna say blokes. It's the.
Are you jumping in and just swimming now? Are you going to be drowning, or are you going to?
Look, when I say blokes, I mean the non. If you in a 2.4.
Husband, wife, kids. It's the classic.
Family,
what we're talking about.
Family.
Okay. I tell you what, that's what we'll reference.
Yeah, this is what we're referencing.
Yeah,
you know, so the non-primary caregiver of the children, right? Assuming that person is out, fucking balls to the wall, full-time work, right? I think there's a lot of pressure on that person, you know, to be like a performing monkey, right? You know, I just said to you earlier, you know, the full-time work, the being a dad, the being a, you know,
answer the question
and stuff like that. But I think,
Stephen,
because you said about, are you a workaholic?
Yeah.
Right. No, And the reason I'm going to say that is because I think it's a negative term, and I think it's absolutely okay to be in your family and also be incredibly aspirational.
Totally
I think
agree.
it's absolutely fine to, I treat my business like another child.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So it's up there. As far as I'm concerned, with my children,
Yeah.
It needs nurturing, it needs love, it needs care, it needs attention.
A lot of people won't like this, but it's as important.
It is,
because if you don't have that, then you lose your income.
Yeah.
I know you can go and get a job easy, but if it's something you're aspirational and you want to build and you want to love and you want to grow into something, then it needs to be as important. It doesn't mean that if there's an emergency call about your kids, you're not going to go. But if you've got a bit of work to do, the kids always come first.
Yeah,
that almost goes without saying. But
100%.
You're coming back to the workaholic thing, though. See, I don't mind people using that term because you can be a workaholic and still have a great life-work balance.
Yes, I obviously agree. I get that.
Or is it just the term that makes you feel? So I don't like the word failure. I don't.
No.
To even use that word makes me feel really horrible inside.
I think the term has negative connotations. I think
you don't ever use long words.
Well, no,
connotations.
Yeah, so that's probably the longest word I've ever used.
You've been doing a little bit of research.
Yeah. Well,
but no, it has. I can see why you say that. I can totally. I don't mind the word.
People do. Oh, but you are a bloody workaholic, isn't you?
Yeah, but it's like it's thrown around like, I'm a chocoholic. I'm an alcoholic.
Never.
Oh, you're an alcoholic. Ooh.
Never heard anyone called anyone a chocoholic, by the way. Just saying that.
Have you not?
My doctor. He said that to me before.
Was this when he was giving you a rectal exam? An erectal exam.
He's like, oh, you're a chocoholic. Yeah.
Have you had a bit of Galaxy with caramel today, sir?
Hey.
Or was it just dairy milk with raisins and hazelnuts?
I think I'll be a Twix. But, Yeah, so just I think I really.
What you want about your doctor? Why did you say that?
I don't know where we got there. Oh, because we were talking about trust. That's it.
Oh, I see. You're going back down that road. That's a no return road, though.
Yeah, it is. You're right. No, it's only one way. Totally. So look, I think there is this negative connotation about the non-primary caregiver, right? Being a workaholic. It's, and it shouldn't be like. I think it's absolutely okay if you're a man, woman, whatever you are, to absolutely have, full-on aspirations and excuse me,
cool, and
be able to, follow your dreams and provide for your kids. And what a great role model, to for your children, to work hard and really, set those kind of I think
it's great for kids to see parents, whether it be you going out working hard or your wife working hard.
Yeah,
it's it's great. It's great. It's great for them to see that, because I think they learn from it and they can see everything you work for, you work hard for. So whether it be they're buying them trainers, teeth, whatever it is, they know you've had to work hard for that.
Yeah.
I was going to make a point. It was quite an important point, but you carry on. I can't remember what it was.
I know. I feel like we should have some silence now while we wait for you to.
Do you think so?
Just to make it really awkward.
See, I'm a workaholic.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to.
It's now sounding a bit like a support group.
Yeah. My name is Michael Kane,
David.
And I am at work.
So you're going to have his lawyers on the phone now.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. My name is Dave Sargent, and I'm a workaholic. But I've got no problem with that. I know I am. I've got an issue with it. Where I get I'm just driven. It's not. I don't get driven by
money. You're talking it negatively. It feels like when you're talking about it, it feels to me like you're very, very defensive about it.
I think because I feel like I need to sometimes.
Yeah, but that's my point.
Because I've worked so hard.
Yeah.
In my life, I don't work as hard as I used to. I do like 18-hour days, no problem.
Well, yeah,
continuously.
now you've got a book. Yeah,
I don't need to.
No, exactly.
Balls to you.
So, but I think this is my point. And how many other non-primary caregivers out there, are going to feel like, it's almost like, I'm really sorry that I work hard. I'm sorry that I work hard.
Yeah.
How weird is that? I'm really sorry that I work hard. And it's like you have to...
What a great point. There's people you...
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
Wow.
Because then you get all that other stuff. Oh, you live for today, you only live once, you're not saving for the future.
Jesus Christ.
It is all these kind of sayings, isn't it, that come along.
Yeah.
You don't have to choose between your job. There's nothing out there that says, right, you can either be a perfect father or perfect mother, or you can have a career. You can't have both. Yeah, I don't know why Alan Sugar's suddenly got involved
with his finger like that.
Yeah,
you're fired. It's like a bit crooked. His finger as he goes. You're
I thought
fired.
That's Captain Hook. It's or a
bit crooked.
Turn like that.
That's a real. What a great point.
Yeah, it is. You're sitting there. I'm an alcoholic. Oh no, you didn't say that. I'm a workaholic, but I'm okay with it. Well, no one was saying you wouldn't be. Why are you being all defensive?
No. I don't mean to come across. Let's just say offensive, defensive.
Yeah.
I think because
it's natural though.
I think because it's only occurred to me around about sort of 18 months ago. It occurred to me.
What?
That I've got a problem with work.
Why is it a problem?
Because it just takes over.
Yeah.
It takes over my life. Every aspect of my life, it takes over it.
Yeah.
And being the way I am, being so driven, I don't get driven by money, success, material stuff. I just like...
Apart from books. Books. You do
Shut up.
Yeah.
I just get driven by just wanting to have a business that is successful in some form. It's not about like making millions or making loads of money, as long as I make enough money. But I think I've always felt, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, but do you see? Yes,
I think I've always felt. So my dad worked really hard.
Yeah.
And it's always like, oh, I never saw you, Dad. I saw you down at a pub or working. But actually, which he was, but he's still alive, by the way. It sounds like it's a slightly past tense. But it hasn't. It's only been as I've got older, I've appreciated why he was working so hard.
Yeah.
And I sort of think, Christ, I've taken the mickey out of him for years for like, ooh, working hard. But he just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And he was there, he provided. So I never give him a real hard time about it, but now I sort of think, what's the
deal? Like, and look at you. We don't need to go into specifics, but you've got a lovely family, you've successful business, you live in a nice part of the world, like, and you've managed to keep it all, like, and I just think there's a lot of pressure with people to almost like having a really, being totally focused on either being a family person or a work person. You can't be both. And I think you absolutely can. I think what it comes down to is to treat that, whether that's a job or a person, a job or your own business, as a person. And in the same way that, like I've got 3 kids, well, I've got 4 kids. I can't just put all of my time on one of them. I need to spread my time across all of them. And I think it's absolutely fine to do that. I think it's absolutely fine to be aspirational. I think it's absolutely fine to be, a fantastic parent or partner or whatever it is, and not feel guilty about it. Because I tell you what, running a business or even holding, not just a job, a career, it's fucking difficult.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially nowadays, and it makes it sound like I'm a bit like, oh yeah, nowadays, but there is a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
nowadays, and that's something we're going to cover further down the line. But as we're going to get into a huge conversation, but there is so many pressures on you, me, your wife, your kids.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, my kids. They're adults.
There's
It's
a lot,
not-
isn't there? We've not even spoken about like friends, hobbies, all these other things that take up your time. It is about prioritising, but and that is almost another topic in its own sense. But yeah, don't feel guilty about it. I think it is possible. It does require time management. It does require commitment. But I think that's the key takeaway for me is not to feel guilty and not to feel like you have to choose between the other.
I was talking to a mate the other day, not a made-up friend.
Oh, okay.
I got two.
What, made-up friends?
Yeah. And he said that when you have a day off, and he's self-employed, so I haven't been employed now for 17 years. So, but when I was employed, I'd be driven to, on my days off, be thinking about food and what dishes I could serve and specials. And he said, even when you have a day off, very often he still feels like almost guilty because he shouldn't be taking a day off.
Yeah.
And I feel that. So the only time I ever feel like, so I'll get days off, whatever time, I get days off, and I don't switch off.
No, we can't.
Ever. The only time I do is if I'm away from a situation, like I have to go to another country. Even if I go up to London, so I still feel like I'm on it. Almost have to get onto a plane, so I feel like
When have you ever been to bloody London?
I go to the Big Smoke all the time, baby.
No, you don't. You probably.
I've been there like
furthest you've
once
ever
last
been
year.
bloody Launceston.
Do you know what I was going? Do you know what I went to London for last year?
What?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh,
fuck you.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Do you know what? You've got such a valid point, right? And why are you feeling guilty about having a day off?
I don't know. See, I agreed with what he said. Do you feel guilty? I have this.
No.
I have this pang of like, oh God. Jen, see, this is being absolutely, completely transparent. You know this about me already. I love working when people are not working. I absolutely love it because I'm keeping ahead of the game.
I'm going to chuck a spanner in the works.
I'm keeping ahead of the game, and when I'm not working, I'm like, oh Jesus, everyone's like keeping ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm going to chuck a spanner in the works here. Yeah, you might want to. This might not even make it to the podcast, but I'm just going to say it. I reckon you resent the fact that you're not at work.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do. But that's not a spanner. That's just...
No, it's. Maybe I've not explained it.
You've put like a little bird. Fly in there.
Like a little accent over the E or something. Yeah. I was saying. No, it's. I feel like it's less about you feeling guilty, right? Because guilt is quite a positive emotion,
Stephen.
Isn't it? And it's more about actually, I'm pissed off that I've got to do whatever else I'm doing because I want to be at work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I don't get pissed off.
No,
but I know where you're coming.
Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah, I know where you're coming from. I can see what angle you're nudging me in at. But I
kettlebelling you in. Is that right?
Yeah, but that comes back to that same sort of feeling of
guilt.
Of basically like I've worked 17 years of being self-employed. Don't stop pushing. It's only been since I've sort of realised I was going to say alcoholic, since I've realised I'm a workaholic, that actually, weirdly, I've managed to understand how to take a day off.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand how to take a day off properly up until that point. And that sounds mental, and I know it does. Like, people will listen to this and be like, "We didn't know how." I didn't know how to be on a day off.
Yeah,
like genuinely,
yeah.
I didn't. I might have been acting like me normally, but inside I was fighting to think. You've worked X amount of time, X amount of hours. You just keep pushing. Just keep a little bit more, a little bit. Yeah. Just wring out a bit more.
I think that's all right though. I think it's all right, and also I think. If you imagine that's like a child, like I said, like the whole child thing, right?
Yeah.
The whole child thing. It's really technical kind of terminology. you would probably feel the same if you. I mean, I don't know about you. You probably have. If my wife and I don't do it. If my wife and I, on the very, very odd occasion, we've been away and for a weekend away or something like that without the kids, you do feel a bit terrible.
Oh,
you
horrendous.
do feel like, oh my God, like what a crap parent I am.
Yeah, I remember
it's no different.
Me and my ex-wife went away.
Your ex-wife?
My ex-wife went away for like the night. I feel horrendous. I think anybody that's got kids feels that. Or if you stay at home and the kids have stayed with the grandparents for the night, you wake up like sweating in the middle of the night. They're not shouting and bawling. Horrendous. You don't sleep right.
No.
But so.
Are we clapping now? Do we have to clap?
So
I think that ultimately, that's the takeaway. I think I said something takeaway like about 45 minutes ago, but I think it's all right, and I think we shouldn't beat ourselves up. I think it's these kind of emotions that we have of the.
Yeah, go on, carry on.
Negativity. All right, I feel like I'm. Like when you go to the greyhounds and there's a little rabbit that goes around the inner circle. I feel like I'm the rabbit and you're the greyhound. Yeah,
but I'll catch it easy.
They wouldn't. The greyhound never catches a rabbit.
Yeah, but this fucking
otherwise it wouldn't work.
Yeah, but this greyhound would catch that fucking rabbit.
Wouldn't work in a million years. So I just think. Anyone out there struggling, feeling guilty, or that are guilty, or they're just really struggling to find that work-life balance. I think when you talk work-life balance, it's like, oh, you've got to finish it on R5, go and do it at 9. It's not.
Yeah.
Try treating it as a child. Try spreading yourself between.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Spreading yourself.
Sorry, elaborate.
Well, just imagine yourself laying down, like what's it called, a mosh pit? They probably had them back in your day.
Not a mosh pit.
What? I didn't say a moth pit.
No, I said a mosh pit.
Oh, not a nosh pit. Oh no.
No, a mosh pit. They do exist nowadays,
do
Stephen.
They?
Yeah.
I'm just not cool enough.
No,
that's what it is.
You've never went in there. You couldn't go in the head like that. You'd knock everyone over.
No, I would fall over.
Bashing everyone over.
Spread yourself across your whole family and include your career or your employment or your job or whatever it is as part of your family.
Yeah.
Stop thinking it's something outside and include it. Embrace it. Get them involved in it.
Yeah. John, one last thing. One last point I want to make. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Stephen Bartlett in particular.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of
Stephen, if you're listening, we've just mentioned you, buddy. You can have this one for free. Next time we will need some kind of payment.
And the people on there, like CEOs and some famous people, but like people that have worked really hard, a lot of them do say, I had to work really, really hard, missed my kids growing up, but they wouldn't have been where they were. They wouldn't have got what they had if they didn't miss out on those particular moments.
No.
And I've missed out on bits and pieces. And do I regret it? Not for a second.
No.
No way. No flipping way.
Good.
Because I was always there for my kids and still am now. But you made a great point. I think you genuinely, that'll stick with me, about you shouldn't feel bad for, and you made some great points, Ozzy.
Oh, thank you very much. It does help.
Thank you very much.
So
Elvis over here with his quiff.
Hey, Tintin, I like to say. Well, we're going to leave it there.
That was good. I like that. It was good. You made some great points, some valid points for once in your life.
That's very nice. Very nice to get.
We'll have a little go for a fist.
Well, I feel like we need to have a side effect there. But side effect or sound effect?
Side's good. Side's
anyway,
good.
I'm going to shut up. All right.
Right, nice one.
See you next time.
Cheers, man. Thank you.